What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the FansToys Gaudi, or their version of a masterpiece scale hook. This is the third in their series of Constructicons. We've gotten Scrapper and Scavenger, now we've gotten Hook, and they continue, and we have 3 more to get Devastator. This one does make up the torso and head, so we will take a look at that when we get to combine mode. It does require a little bit out of box. You need to rotate the waist around 180 degrees. And I also put the hands into fists. And then the head, in order to rotate it, you have to slide these shoulder pads out of the way. They slide out pretty far. You can actually see that one even went a little bit more. So just be aware that you've got to really push on this to get it slid. It goes quite a ways, and it's hard to reach it. But once you get that all the way out, you can rotate the head freely. It does have some beautiful paint on it. We've got the metallic purple, metallic green, metallic silver or gray. It does have a backpack, but it cleans up pretty nicely. You know, it's pretty compact and square. Not compact, but it's pretty square. Just doesn't protrude out other than the hook part, which you would expect. Nice metallic red for the eyes. Let's go over the articulation. Head can rotate. Goes up to there. It's actually the neck joint that's moving and not the head. And down to there. Interesting way they did the head. For the shoulders rotate out to there. Out to the side. You can lift up this panel, which allows you to get the arms all the way up. That's interesting. They don't usually do stuff like that. You have a butterfly joint built in here. So this arm gets forward to here. And some of it's due to the transformation, but that's cool that they have a butterfly joint. You can push it back in if you want to. So there is some extra articulation there compared to usual FansToys. Rotation at the bicep. You have a single jointed elbow. However, it is on the wheel. And I love the way it rotates. It looks like it's the wheel. It's kind of cool. I don't know, it's just unique. But it is single jointed. You have an elbow pad down here as well. Wrist can rotate. Fingers are individually articulated at 2 pins. Thumb is on a ball joint and a pin. Typical FansToys hands, they work pretty well. Coming down to the waist, we have a waist rotation. It's a little bit limited. You know, the backpack kind of hits. If you bend the ab crunch, you get a little bit more, and then it starts colliding there. If you bend it all the way, as far as you can, then you can get it rotated. So you really need to engage the ab crunch to rotate the waist. Not a huge fan of that, to be honest, but it's how it works. Going down to the legs, you have the legs will kick up to there on a ratchet. Nice strong ratchet. Back to there, hindered by the sculpt. Out to the side on friction, it does hold. Lots of heavy die cast in this leg. Rotation at the thigh on universal, I think. Double jointed knee. If you bend at the top, it doesn't really matter. You get double joint. I want to say it goes a little further. Yeah, okay. You get double jointed knee. And ankle tilts pretty much all the way. For his accessories, we get his blaster done in this gunmetal black. Nicely sculpted. And that will fit in his hand, of course. Tab in the normal way. Nice looking blaster. We also get a trumpet, which I didn't get with my copy, but all the trumpets are the same. They're the same exact design. So you can use one. I'm using one from another FansToys Constructicon. And this will tab in like this. And then you can close the fingers around. And, whoops. Unfortunately, we don't have the alternate faces, so even though I knocked the face off just now, I'm not gonna be able to show you the alternate faces. I didn't get them, the copy, and I did mention that to Nick. But if you bend the head back, noticing you can't really bend the head back if you want it rotated, so this will be a little challenging to get the trumpet to his mouth. But there you go. You can sort of get it there. It's a little challenging, but you do have the butterfly joint here to try to help you. For size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime, and it comes up to about the same height. So these are big bots. They work okay. I think they're fine. As long as they're shorter than Megatron, they're about the same height as Megatron. So a tad bit smaller would be nice, but they work for me. All right, and here's another comparison I think people probably want to see with the other FansToys Constructicons, or they call them Articulacons. And they look good together. It's a cohesive team. They're all kind of like on this bulkier, beefier side. So it does work. They do have big backpacks, though. This one especially, the Scavenger, is like egregiously big. But they match up. So I think as a team, they are looking pretty good overall. All right, now let's get Gaudi transformed into alt mode. Go ahead and lift up the arms, bend the elbow, open up this panel, and fold the hand in, close up the panel, straighten up the arm, and this will collapse in on the hinge at the shoulder. There's a peg here going into a slot there, tab. So I'll get that collapsed. And while we're here, we're going to fold down this panel here. So it just fits in like that. And then same thing on this side. Open up the panel, fold the hand in, tab that back in, straighten up the arm, fold down this hip piece, and collapse up the shoulder, get that tabbed in. All right. Now I'll take care of the head. So for the head, we're going to slide it back. It's really tight. It's actually pretty hard to push this back. You should see a gap opening up there. If you want, you could use a spudger to get it the rest of the way. Go ahead and fold this down. This will pop out when you fold it, so just close that back up. And then we're going to slide the shoulder pads that we pulled out back in. We had slid them out before for unboxing. So that takes care of the back section. We can rotate this to the side, and that'll give you a little space to open up this panel right here. You kind of have to push back here while pulling this forward. It has to just make its way right under this edge. All right, and then rotate that back. You can lift this up, fold that panel up, and then back here you're going to rotate this back and then rotate this up so it sits higher now and just sits on top of here. And we're going to leave this closed for now because we got to do some work on the legs. So for the legs, we're going to open up this panel here. And the two legs are not symmetrical, so we'll do each one individually since they're different. And we can open up this panel on the side here. Rotate the foot. And then we're going to rotate this panel all the way up. So it ends up like this. And we probably can remove these arms just for now because we need a little space in the legs. Bring this panel up to the side and tab that in. bring this panel back, and you're going to flip around this tiny panel inside so you get the slot that's going to fit over this tab. All right, so bring this down, get that tabbed in, and in order to tab it in, you're going to have to slide this panel in. Now tab that into there, and that's one side finished. So let's go ahead and take care of the other side. And like I mentioned, they're different. The two sides are different. We're going to unpeg this from here, bring that all the way down. Unpeg this. This is on a slider, so just slide it out and open it. Come to the back. We'll rotate this piece down, and then we'll rotate this piece out. And now we can take all of this, rotate that around, and then rotate this in so it meets up here. Oops, and this should come to the top, this panel right here. Right, so you can see that's the top of the truck on both sides. Same for this panel here. Bring this back, rotate this so you get the slot lined up with this tab. Bring this panel down. Don't forget to slide it in and then tab it into the top of the thigh. On this side, you can just slide this in, tab that in. For this piece back here, this is make the back of the cab. So open up this panel, open up this panel, and you might need a spudger or something to get it, but there's a panel right here. And that should make a little box, which is going to plug into the back of this cab. Sort of lengthens it out. All right, now we're going to tab these two sides together. So we need to bring this clip onto here, the circular tab into here, and then these two square pegs into this side, and then this one back here. It's easiest to get them all at the same time. Otherwise, you'll have to come back and do it, and it's harder to do that. So get this one first, then do this one. And this one's kind of the hardest one, the clip over the top. Here we go. And I lost this one. There we go. And then, once you have all the top ones, then come to the bottom and tab that in right here. Give that a squeeze. Bring this panel down. Nice diamond plate right there. That looks really good. All right, now we can put the arms back. So we took those out. So collapse the arms down. Get that peg in on the inside as well as onto the side of the thighs. And if it doesn't go in, then you have the waist joint not straight. And then don't forget to reattach these two side pieces here. And then last step, go ahead and extend the boom. So you should have two pieces, one here and one here. On the bottom, you're going to pull out this hook, and we can just kind of push it through, and that'll release it. And then you can fold this boom down. And the last step here, which I forgot to do, is to close up these. Although I do think it looks better with it open. Just gives a little more detail there on the inside, but official transformation, close those up. All right, there's Gaudi in vehicle mode. And I actually really like the way this looks. It's my favorite one so far out of the FansToys. Yeah, nice translucent pink for the windows on the front and the back. Rubber tires with chrome wheels. It does roll nicely. It has functionality, which I always appreciate. The crane can move. It has like ratcheted points. This can obviously open all the way back to here, and then this can extend. And it even has a workable winch for the hook. I just think that's so cool. So you can lower it down by rotating this little wheel. And of course you can attach something to the hook. I have a, Energon cube here just sitting by, but pretty cool. You can do that. It does have weapon storage, so if you want, you can take this gun and that will plug in right here. It's a little tricky to get it in there, but there you go. For some size comparisons, there it is next to MP10 Optimus Prime and the more recent Ocular Max version of Scrapper. And fits in nicely with the Masterpiece scale. I like the overall length and size of the truck. We haven't gotten a Mixmaster from Ocular Max or from X-Transbots, so I'm curious to see how they do theirs. But this works for me. I like how this looks. All right, now let's get Gaudi into combined mode. And the instructions actually have it going from robot to combined, just because they probably think people are going to do it that way. But I'm going to go from vehicle to combined, so you have a separate instruction. Go ahead and take this. You're going to slide this back in. It's a little tricky to do it, so I'm going to show you. Have the hook facing up. Slide it up and in. There are actually two little clips. Not clips, but two little pegs holding it there. So it locks in place. So make sure you grab those. Go ahead and collapse this back down. Make sure that hook is inside. Collapse that down. And then we'll start working on the rest of this. So we can put away this panel. So lift this up, get that tucked in under there. We are going to separate the legs, and we have to undo the arms, unfortunately. Go ahead and just undo this. Make sure these are detached as well. And then we'll take care of the legs. So we're going to undo the tabs that we put in earlier. And this hook tab on the top is ironically the strongest tab, so I recommend using a spudger to pop this apart and then lift up and away on this clip. All right. We're going to rotate the leg, lift up on this peg. We can open this up. Open up this panel right here. And we want to accordion this down inside the leg joint. So get this down and in. Use your finger to pop this up. Then we can close this down. It's a little tight, so I recommend you get that side in first and then push it back on this side. Swing this over. Rotate this panel 90 degrees so it fits back into here. All right, now that you got that squared away, you can fold this panel back down on top. Make sure you have this panel just flat. You're not going to use the tab on this side. And then we can rotate this back up. This panel on the side can go back and tab back onto the hip. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on this side, but the transformation is a little bit different, so I'm going to show it. Go ahead and open this up. And we need a little space to work, so we can flip this down. And we actually had to end up opening this up, so I might as well do it now. Open up this panel. On the inside, you'll find this panel here. I recommend using a spudger or something to open it. There we go. And flip that around to the other side. So it fills out this panel here. Just leave that down out of the way. So on the inside of the thigh, we can open this up. We're going to open up this panel here, flip out this clip on the inside, accordion down the knee joint into here, close back this panel. Recommend pushing the inside in first and then this outside part. Flip this over the top, rotate this panel 90 degrees, and then hide that back in there. So we're looking like this. We can go ahead and fold that back down. This will fold back on this side. Again, we can straighten up this panel. Rotate this around to the side. So get that underneath tab first. And then this clip over the top. This top one is definitely the hardest one. There we go. Make sure you get this one. And again, these should be pushed in, slid in on the joint there. And on the bottom, just make sure this is tabbed together down here and in the middle. All right, so there's how we're looking. Now we can separate this waist joint. So come to this side. We're going to open up this clip right here. That will release this waist joint. You got to pull pretty hard, but it does release this swing joint here. That'll allow you to rotate this all the way to this side. And if you look under here, there's a clip and a hook right here that's going to go on top of that clip. So let's first close up this arm and just putting it, and you can close this tab on the bottom back down. This will tab back into the side of the body and up into here. This will come swing around. Make sure you get this clip in. And you might need to move this out of the way to get some space, but there we go. Get that clip on, and then this arm is going to tab in on the inside. There we go. And you have to work those tabs around to get that to sit properly. This is going to open up. Obviously, when we get the long haul piece, we'll know how this fits. But for now, they just have it folding up like this. I'm sure it's going to go like this around long haul. But leave that there for now. On this side, for this arm, you're going to rotate the elbow down and then put the arm back. So tab it back in on the inside of the chest. And then this just folds up. I actually forgot to close up this hip pad. This just folds up and sits right there. Kind of sticks out. There's one little piece left, so we need to open up this chest panel. I recommend you just lift up the head. That gives you a little cheat to open up this chest panel. And you to fold out this piece right here. It's very tight. There you go. And then fold out this, straighten this up. There's a panel on the inside. Fold that out, fold this out. And again, I think it's going to be the side of the figure, side of the combiner, like this. But right now we don't have the other piece to compare it and figure that part out. But here's how we're looking. This should attach back up to here on both sides. Actually, this one's not attaching. Just this side. And now we'll take care of the head. So come to here, flip open this panel right here. Oh, we have to lift this up. Lift that out of the way, and that will free up this. And there's the hidden head. We're going to lift up this panel right here and fold this to the other side. Rotate this panel down. You're going to slide the head out that way. It'll just click into place. And then we're going to rotate the head this way. Then we can close this back up, close that back up. We're going to fold this down. This hinge is going to go back down, and then this will go flat. So we've got this sitting flat on the top. And last little bit here is the head. So open up these side pieces, rotate the face around, and then clip this back in on both sides. And this panel right here is just going to sit right there. We're going to open up this little door piece that we put in earlier. Flip this panel down, close up that panel, and this will sit right here. All right, and there's Gaudi in combine mode. And this is what we've been waiting for. This is what this was built for. Combine mode looks amazing. I love that head sculpt. Love the look of this chest. Obviously, we still need the chest wing. We need long haul down here to connect to all these bits. It might even connect here, I'm not sure, but yeah, this is pretty awesome. This head sculpt has a lot going on. There's a lot you can do with this head. So first, if you open up the cap, and then we pop off the face. The faces are really tight. I've obviously loosened it up, but there is a spot for two LR626 batteries. Thank God I had them here. So press this button. It does turn on the light. My major complaint with this is you have to take the face off in order to light it up. So it does feel a little, silly. But there's that face. I'll turn off my lights. There it is, lit up. It does go through that metallic paint. I much prefer painted eyes than unpainted, so I'm glad they did that. But wait, there's more. If you open this up, open up this side bit here, stick your finger right here. You can push forward on this panel, and you can grab this visor and bring that down. And every face other than one can use this visor as an option. That looks spectacular. Spectacular. So let's swap out the faces. I showed you how to do it. We'll just go through each one. Here he is with a frowning face. And again, just remember each of these faces, you can use that visor. Here he is with a smiling face. Here he is with a yelling face, angry face. Here he is with a really angry face. And here you go for the face from that one scene from the cartoon. This is the only one that doesn't work with the visor. It's got its own visor built in, but it's pretty funny looking. But shout out to Sam Scott Roberts. He's going to display with this face. So final recommendations on the FansToys Gaudi. This is a very pleasant surprise. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 strong recommendation. I think the other two were a little weak because the robot mode wasn't all that impressive. They had minimalized articulation or articulation that didn't work all the way. And the vehicle modes were somewhat disappointing. At least Scavenger, you didn't have a rotating cab, so you couldn't really use the scoop. But this one, the robot mode, has beautiful articulation. Looks really good. He does have a backpack, but I think that's appropriate for the character, so I'm okay with it. But the accessories all look nice. The trumpet and the gun. It does come with alternate faces. My copy was missing them, so I did contact Nick, but I didn't even show this. You can just pop the face off like that and replace it if you have the replacement faces. So those accessories are great. No complaints there. And the vehicle mode also, I love that the crane moves. It's got a working winch inside the crane. That's great. That's the first time I've seen that in a Masterpiece figure. And then the coup de grace is the combined mode, right? We all knew the combined mode for this FansToys set is where they're focused, and no question about it. Now that I've seen the chest and the head, yes, absolutely, it's going to be a beautiful Devastator. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of this set. We'll see. I think the strongest one so far is definitely this guy, followed by Scrapper, and then I think the weakest one is Scavenger. So we'll see how the rest are. But yeah, this is looking up for me. I'm more excited now about this set than I was before I reviewed this. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Nick the Toy Guy for sending this out, and we'll see you next time.
TM Reviews. What's up, YouTube fans?